afternoon.
I'm Maddy.
And I'm Gregg.
And we are 50 plus backpack. So flashpacking numbers. Is long-term travel too expensive? A 50 plus backpack year of travel breakdown. I decided we should share the numbers. The costs of our approximately 1 year of travel. We did a partial navigation of the Med. That was always Gregg's dream. And I bought into it quite heavily. And we also spent some time in Southeast Asia on that trip.
And one of the questions that comes up a lot is, how much does it really cost to travel for an entire year? People want some information where they can actually base their decisions on, and not just sort of ideal budgets that are drawn out of AI. So this video was trying to answer the question, what it really cost us to travel for the entire year through 2024 and 2025.
And we do have notes. We have our laptops because
lots of notes.
We don't want to forget anything. There was a lot going on in that time. In that time, we tracked everything. We used an app called Travel Spend. I'll get to a bit more information on that at the end. And we tracked the cost of everything: our flights, our accommodations, all our activities, every coffee, pretty much every purchase that we made went onto that app, so that we could then look at the breakdown and figure out, okay, what did we spend and what did it cost? And what kind of travellers are we? We weren't extreme in any direction. We like to look for budgets and stick to budgets, but as 50 plus backpack, we want to be comfortable. It's kind of semi-budget travelling, or what sometimes is called flashpacking.
Because you do get to an age where you really don't want to sleep in a dorm room. And as my friend Michael said, you'll pay another $1.50 to live in a room without a rat.
Yeah.
Travelling has raised quite a few questions about money, about pace, about how sustainable it is to travel for a few weeks at a time. Also, will we get bored if we stay in a place too long? Will we miss out on something if we travel too quickly? So there were a lot of questions that came up, and a big question is, will this end up costing us a fortune?
So we're going to walk through the real numbers: how many places we went, what surprised us along the way, what a year of travel like this actually adds up to. I mean, is it possible at all to do this at the costs of today? So stay with us, we'll have a clearer picture, and hopefully you'll be able to see how that might apply for you at the end.
So what is flashpacking? Are you curious to find out what it might all cost?
So actually less than you might think, but more than it might have cost. What did our year of travel look like, numbers-wise?
Okay, numbers, and I'm going to read them off the page here because there's a lot of numbers. Numbers of days travelled, 371 from 21st of July 24 to 30th of July 2025. That includes a return back home for Christmas and New Year for about 9 weeks, during which period we just decided to throw in a wedding as well. So that was fun. We do have a video in our catalogue which you can have a look at.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hint of it on our visit to Hobbiton. So how did that come up? So in October in Morocco, Gregg proposed. In November we got engagement. We got the engagement rings in Madrid, and then December I lined up my daughter's garden in Christchurch, and yeah, we got an old friend to do the official business and get us married.
The celebrant.
The celebrant, that's it. So is that numbers? Well, It was wedding number 2 for both of us. So back to the travel numbers. We went on in that time 22 planes, 17 of them were economy flights.
And 5 of them were business class, because I don't do long haul overnight. I can't sleep, and business class was the only way I was going to survive a 12-hour flight.
But it was the first time we'd managed to get on business class flights, so we factored that in as an important part of this travel year.
Very exciting. So we either got an upgrade from standby or economy, or we actually booked it outright. We flew Turkish Airlines from Cairo to Melbourne, Australia, which was awesome. Cannot recommend Turkish Airlines enough. They were great. So we travelled through 12 countries, 4 of them twice, because they were cool. The list is Australia, Singapore, the UK, Portugal, Spain, Morocco, Spain again, then home for our break for Christmas, then back to Singapore, Malaysia, Laos, Thailand, Malaysia, again, Turkey, Greece, Egypt, and Australia on the way back home to New Zealand.
During that time, we slept in 89 beds. Now, only 2 or 3 of them were actually below par, that we really wish we didn't stay there. But they were okay for 2 or 3 nights. And the actual fact, when we worked it out, it was approximately 4.2 nights per bed. We thought we might be slow travellers. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, 4.2 nights is pretty quick travel over the whole year. But we did slow down, or get into slow down mode at least, a couple of times.
On river cruises, we did 2 river cruises. One on the Mekong through Laos, and the second one on the River Nile on a Egyptian river cruiser. Absolutely magic the whole time. All of them were really great.
And that sense of time slowing down as you're just cruising down the river, watching the scenery go by, is definitely feels like you're in slow mode, even if it's only 1 or 4 or 5 nights. Okay, we did 2 once in a lifetime hot air balloon rides. Why 2? When I thought that would be, right, pick one, do it. We really wanted to do the hot air balloon ride over Cappadocia. We did that in April 2025. And it was magical. It was incredibly special. It was everything I'd hoped it would be, with the fairy chimneys and the...
And recording for you.
She drops it, the company owes you anyway.
Amazing flight crew, just, everything. Sunrise, everything was amazing. But then, and this is where some of these spontaneous things come in, we had decided, no, that's it, we're only doing that one. Look, Gregg surprised me with another balloon ride over the Valley of the Kings. How could I say no? Another early start. Another unrepeatable experience. This is just magic. It was about half the price of the one in Turkey. Slightly smaller balloon. There wasn't 100 plus other balloons in the sky, but there was a fair few. There was something about flying over the Valley of the Kings, about seeing the sun come up and turn the Nile silver.
Stunning.
Absolutely stunning.
I would suggest, if you've got to choose between the 2, I would choose the Nile balloon ride every time. It wasn't quite as long, but just absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, it gets me every time I think about that one. Other boats?
Yes, we did go on some other boats. In fact, we went on 18 ferries and 9 day trips in smaller launches, speedboats. long-tail boats in Thailand, etc.
And our hotel transportation when we were in Aswan, we stayed at a little place on an island and got shuttled backwards and forwards whenever we wanted.
This is
It
the
was
only
so
way
cool.
off the island.
Yes, that was really cool. That's definitely recommend staying in the middle of the Nile in Aswan. Other smaller travel things was 33 regional buses. We did vow to try and take buses and trains wherever we could, and instead of flying. And so regional buses, wasn't that big a fan of doing more than a 5-hour bus trip, but occasionally we did. The buses ranged from the little regional bus with the door tied open, and you could virtually see the road through the floor. Some of the seats were broken. This was from Chiang Kong on the Lao border through to Chiang Mai.
So we actually found 2 seats with springs in the backs of the seats.
Yeah,
So,
we felt like we did all right on that one. In Turkey, the long distance buses, we did one, I think 9-hour, which was a little more than I wanted, but it was great. We even had coffee service on the bus.
Via an on-board concierge.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then there were the trains.
We travelled on 18 trains in total through the UK, through Portugal and Spain, and in Turkey we had our one overnight sleeper train, which was okay. My opinion is overnight sleeper trains save you money and time on ACOM, but you don't sleep, not really. They're noisy, they are rattly, and you're lurched out of your bunk
of course,
on a regular basis.
Haven't done many luxury trains yet, so I think that might be more achievable in some of the more luxury trains, or the train in Saudi Arabia that we watched somebody on recently. I'd imagine, with brand new rails and.
Well, I wonder if we're ever going to make it onto the Orient Express, but you never know.
Stay watching.
So speaking of trains, we also did innumerable subways in Singapore, London, Bangkok, and Istanbul. The metro systems, London is world renowned, and was the original, so it's a bit old and rattly, but it's still going after something like 150 years. You can't complain about that. Singapore's MRT is astonishingly good, as is Bangkok. The Bangkok MRT, excellent. Cheap as chips. Definitely, if you're in a city, use the subways, use the MRTs, the Sky trains. They're the best way to get around. Much more reliable than the buses.
Yeah, and you can often just use your credit card, wave it to get in. You don't need to get other tickets or a special card anymore. A lot of places you just use your credit card.
And I think in places like Singapore, the average trip cost was about 35 cents. So, why would you not? And you just zap your credit card on the target, in and out, and you're away.
So in the cities, we also travelled on 16 city buses. And these, again, ranged from very, very local to a little more like a touristy shuttle bus. But yeah, great services. Again, you're learning along the way, trying to suss out where to get them, how to pay. We did sometimes find ourselves waiting on a bus that never came.
Variations on buses. We rode in innumerable tuk-tuks, remorques, songtaos through Southeast Asia, and the dolmuş in Turkey, which is basically a little minivan which picks up and drops off at regular places, but sits and waits till the bus is full and then off they go. So a little bit haphazard in their scheduling, but always good value.
Oh yeah, they were great. And I was tempted to try a similar kind of thing in Egypt, but Greg said no. He
They
didn't
were
think it looked...
purely for the locals. We decided that was a bad idea.
Yeah, okay. So instead, or sometimes this was the best options, we took innumerable Grabs, Ubers, taxis,
Yes.
with mixed success.
Sometimes you and it depends on the country, that like Uber has different rules. We had an experience in Grenada. We were supposed to get to a bus station to pick up our bus to go on out of the city. We booked an Uber an hour before we needed to get there.
Okay, it's 12 o'clock.
Leave.
We are on the bus, and like just on the bus, and it is now leaving. We tried to do Uber.
We've had an adventure.
Greg's got a sore foot, so we weren't going to catch the bus to the bus station. We thought we'd do it the easy way and call an Uber.
And called it an hour ahead of time to give us plenty of breathing room.
Yes, yeah.
Car turned around on the map and they started heading away from us.
And so then we raced up to the taxi rank, and we thought, we haven't got time. It's like a 20-minute trip it says it's 20 minutes to the bus station. We've got only that. We're not going to make it, but we grabbed a taxi.
I think you broke all the speed rules
He drops.
in Grenada.
And it was going to be like $7.50. The Uber was going to be, Greg,
€20.
Which is ridiculous. So taxis are our friends, and we're on the bus.
So, yeah, a bit of an adventure this morning. And now when we get to where we're going, I'm going to have a stiff drink.
And owing to a couple of little errors over the last few days, we are double checking everything before we leave anywhere.
Oh, yeah. In this instance, it was much better to use a taxi.
We did a lot of independent travel during the time we were away, but there were places where doing an organised multi-day tour was the order of the day. One of those places in Morocco, in order to get to the desert. So we did a 2-night trip. It was a semi-private trip because it was just us and...
2 young Russian Instagrammers.
Yeah, so we had a really nice time with them. And there's so much driving involved. But you just can't get out to the desert camp and all the places to see in a place like Morocco without a driver.
Morocco is definitely a country you don't go blundering out into the desert on your own.
No. Yeah, and always have your own driver. So that was great. The other organised multi-day trip we did was our trip down the Nile. We did look at maybe just doing, just booking a boat and getting all the tours and froms and everything ourselves, but it actually made way more sense to do it with an organised tour, and I spent a lot of time picking the tour.
And that is something that we would recommend in countries like Egypt. Independent travel, while it's not necessarily frowned upon, it is seriously not easy. You're better to have a full-time guide with you the whole time, who will guide you through the maze of touts, shopkeepers, people trying to pick your pockets,
and also the security factors. It's all just happens behind the scenes, but it meant any stops along the roadway, they were all just dealt with. The paperwork was all there. They looked after us, so it was actually relatively easy.
Don't get us wrong, Egypt is very, very security conscious. People ask us, "Oh, you're travelling in Egypt. How scary was that?" It wasn't. they're very good at what they do, and don't ever feel worried about travelling in Egypt. It's the shopkeepers you've got to worry about.
Yeah.
You've got to fend them off with a big stick, but
Yeah.
it's absolutely go.
And I did love the contrast we had between travelling from Alexandria to Cairo on the second class train, which was fine. It was dirty and noisy and busy, but it was fine. We had a lovely chat with a local guy. And then being met at that station by an escort and a driver, which was the beginning of our organised tour in Cairo, and then following on through onto the trip down the Nile with an excellent guide. I will put a link to the company we booked through in the description. It was really well organised and just so nice. They had our guide with us on the boat, so we could set our times for visiting temples, etc., etc. It was definitely a big part of the cost of our travels, but one of those things that I'd wanted to do since I was in my teens, visiting Egypt. So, and it was your second visit to Egypt, right?
Yes, yes. And both times on tours, visiting Egypt, take our advice, book a tour. You won't regret it.
So did we do anything wrong along the way in the year?
Well, mistakes made, no complete cock-ups, some communication challenges along the way. Definitely when you're in those sorts of places, you're going to get ripped off. You can do your best to avoid it, but sometimes you can't avoid it and you just have to accept it. And that's a matter of travelling in those places. Okay, so that's transport. ACOM.
It's not always how it looks in the pictures.
Invariably not.
And we would sometimes spend hours and hours choosing where we were staying. Like an example is our cosy loft in a basement with several locked doors to get through to get out.
Gates to get out.
And Seville was a wonderful, wonderful city, but it was slightly marred by the fact that the accommodation was pretty ordinary. The plumbing might be dodgy.
The advertising and the photos never show you how often the toilets back up. So,
and sometimes it's not actually in as good a location as you think. But that's part of the learning process, and it's still, you get an experience. It's still, we didn't have any absolute nightmares of accommodation, which was good.
Also, don't always believe Google Maps. It won't tell you exactly where you are sometimes, and you can say, oh, we're going to this place, and it will put it somewhere completely wrong. So
we did have a few arguments between my Google Maps and his Apple Maps.
Yes,
we still haven't settled on which one we should use.
We've had Google Maps and Apple Maps arguing with each other about where some place is. So, you just take that on the chin. Okay,
we used 10 different currencies over that time, a variety of different dollars. The kip, where was the kip from?
Kip is
Laos. Lao kip, Malaysian ringgit, Thai baht, Turkish lira, the euro, the Moroccan dirham, and various pounds, Egyptian and UK, I believe. We also got a Revolut card, which was really handy. I would put the money on that and then get money out on the Revolut card. A lot better for transaction fees and ATMs. But we did learn getting money out of an ATM. The best ATMs to use are the ones at banks. Also, some like the Euronet and ones like that have very high fees.
Another thing to remember is when it asks you if you want to do the conversion now or to your currency, or leave it in the local currency, do not convert it then. It costs you more. Also, if you're getting money out with a debit card, do it in larger amounts because you're always paying a transaction fee. You can also do it on your credit card if you've put your credit card into credit. But once you start getting into debit in the credit card, then don't use it for drawing money out because it's horrifically expensive.
Yes, but we did use a credit card. Most places around the world we found at bigger restaurants, hotels, bars, usually a credit card was acceptable.
Except in places like Morocco, Egypt, where the local bazaar traders, cash is king. Everybody used to say, oh, always get American dollars out. Actually, don't bother with that. American dollars become a pain in the neck. You've got to keep them separate. They all look the same. So next thing you're trying to give them $1 and you've given them $10 because they're exactly identical and you don't know which president's which. So best method is to just use the local currency.
Okay, there was a few small losses along the way.
I've made a list. It's right here. Right. The things that Maddy's misplaced on our trips. Hats, 4 of them. Sunglasses, 5 of them.
Well, I didn't misplace them all. Some of them were cheap vendor sunglasses and got broken.
There is that.
Which, yeah, they're only designed to last a month or two if you're lucky.
Walking sticks. Now, we had walking sticks because when we were in Spain, I developed gout, and then subsequently in 2025, Maddy's got a dicky knee. So we had walking sticks. Here's Maddy standing in line for the bus to Chiang Mai, doing all her stretching exercises for her. And hiking poles. My dear wife managed to lose 3 of them.
I don't think I lost them all, but I'm not sure what happened to one of them.
We just don't know where they are.
I know where one is. The taxi driver, when we were going from Turkey to Greece, he took us to the ferry. Our original budget, what we hoped to spend over the year, was approximately 70,000 New Zealand dollars, which works out in euro, 36,000 euro. But our daily spend in 2024 was $312 New Zealand dollars, or 154 euro. And in 2025, daily spend $252 or 124 euro.
Which means we think we got better at budgeting in the second half of our trip. Especially as in 2024 we spent 3 weeks bludging off family, so spending nothing on accommodation, and in 2025 only 1 week. So we think we're getting better at budgeting, and that just comes with practice.
True.
So our final budget, all up, everything, including airfares, transport, accommodation, tours, once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and innumerable bottles of Fix beer.
And Tiger.
And Tiger, and FS, and all number of beers from all around the world.
And other essential expenses, which we've forgotten exactly what they were.
So basically everything which Maddy documented on her app, which I thought, what was the app called
Travel
again?
Spend.
Travel Spend. Get that. It gives you all sorts of projections, pie charts, you name it. It's a brilliant app. Final budget, $110,000 New Zealand, 56.5k euro. And that's everything.
So we think we did okay. What did we learn? Well, travel has definitely got more expensive since COVID, and in fact we have a hunch that when we travel again this year, it's probably going to have gone up a bit more due to recent events.
Yes. We've learnt there's always more things to learn. And don't take anything for granted, because what might be true in one country or even one city can be different in the next city or the next country. Rules, especially like at airports, whether your laptop has to come out of your bag or whether it can stay in your bag. You don't know that until you're right at the front of the queue. So never take anything for granted. Another one, always know where your shit is. Because when you're rummaging through your bag or your pack looking for something, and you're in a queue, and there's some official with a big unit with a nice shiny uniform on glaring at you, that doesn't go down well.
Also, Greg's the ultimate knowing where shit is, like checking the seats on the bus, on the train, in the back of the taxi, just making sure we don't leave anything behind. The last one that you've always been really good at, and I've appreciated.
Build in time buffers. If you need to be somewhere, get there early. Build in time buffers always. Don't leave anything to the last minute. Don't be those families that sprint through airports. Can't say that enough when you're dealing with Uber drivers, erratic bus timetables, trains that get cancelled, and you're trying to get to an airport to pick up an airliner. Plan ahead, make sure you're ready, get everything packed up the night before, and be good to go when you get up, because time evaporates.
And I love not being stressed, and also having enough time to spend time at the in the airport lounges is really nice. So our main cost, we had on travel spend, and then we had the free version for the first 4 months of our travels, and then because you can only have one trip at a time on the app, decided to spend, it wasn't even that much, for lifetime access to travel spend premium. So I was able to look up all the costs. Our 22 flights cost $16,934.
Local transport costs $6,562.
Our accommodation overall was $26,935. We didn't really skimp on accommodation.
Food and drink, we didn't skimp on the Leos either. $23,650.
Remember, this is a whole year. Groceries
and a lot of FS beer.
And groceries, we didn't actually cook for ourselves all that much. $3,868.
Sightseeing and activities, $9,138.
Which gives a total of $87,219. So there was other things was about $20,000 worth.
What other things?
Phone, internet, laundry, stuff that we didn't just outline the bulk price of then.
Yes.
So, in closing...
No.
Greg, closing thoughts.
Be a hoopy fruit who really knows where his towel's at.
Yeah, that probably sums it up. It's not necessarily really cheap, but you can do it cheaper to go flashpacking and to have a really enjoyable, comfortable, but allowing for spontaneous stuff trip. Because if you're allowing for the spontaneous, sometimes you end up with the more expensive. But this is what it cost us. And compared to what it might cost to live at home for a year, I'd rather be travelling.